Hey guys, welcome to another banger episode of the So Nigerian podcast.
Yes, sir.
And today we have a very interesting topic with an interesting guest. Today we're going to be talking about consent, boundaries, and healthy relationships. For you young Nigerians and you teenagers, that's why we brought a specialist with us. We're going to let her introduce herself, Precious.
Hello, my name is Precious Oyelike. I'm a Nigerian because we're on a Nigerian podcast.
And you're so Nigerian.
That is it, yes. So I'm a sexual and reproductive health expert. I educate adolescents, young people in their sexual and reproductive health. Yeah.
Wow, we are here to educate Isaac today. So Isaac and the rest of you.
You guys will observe in this episode that most of the things she said, I already have the idea. Like I already know. Do you understand? 'Cause I'm also a reproductive health expert in a way. So she's my colleague.
Is a reproductive?
My senior colleague.
Is a reproductive health expert? This is sexual health expert.
Sexual reproductive. I'm an expert in this conversation. So that means here to learn.
But yeah, you guys, welcome. And if you are not subscribed, we have a song that we do on our episode here.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes.
you know, when we got your email, we're like, we are doing this straight up. Like, immediately we got your email, we're like, we need to do this. And it's like a topic that resonates with a lot of people that are listening because you know, some of them are doing the forbidden. So, you know, but those of us that are yet to break our hymens.
You guys, I picked him from a babes house this morning. Like, so it's not even a matter of this.
No,
But his Iman is backed for today.
no, it's forever. till marriage night. But yes, we're obviously very excited and very happy. But before we go on, we want to do our song because there's people that are listening to this topic now and they're not subscribed.
And it's painful because if you watch, just to subscribe, it's simple.
Do you
It's
understand?
not even hard.
Do you understand? And then you already listen to the intro song where they said this, but you still not subscribe. You still not rate this podcast 5 stars. You still not share to that your sexual partner. So
What shall it profit you not to subscribe?
exactly. So
Okay.
it's not that hard. Do you understand? You can also share to your sexual partner, but then
I shall share other things, just share the episode.
exactly. As Isaac has.
We hope you are sharing the right things, because a lot of things are going on in this Lagos. But
can be sharing the episode and all that.
another thing that's way. But as long as I shall share the episode, nothing really concerns me.
Or else you are sharing that things, you can share
You can share
the
the episode, so do you?
episode. So have you subscribed?
Gay.
Have you liked?
Gay.
Have you commented?
Gay.
Have you subscribed?
Gay.
Have you shared?
Gay.
Share. Oh.
Have you shared every other thing?
But yeah, it's so good to have you here. And before we go on, we have like a little segment that we do, songs of the week. But because of you, we spoke prior and said you'd rather do movies of the week. So we're going to start with you and tell us your movies of the week. Yeah.
So I want to recommend. Can I mention the name of the YouTube channel?
Sure.
Okay. So I stumbled on a YouTube channel called Only Good Films. And one of the videos that I watched on that film is From Greece to Grace. And it was a very interesting movie. And I think for the people that owns the channel is Blossom Chuku, J Blaze. I know those people, they are phenomenal actors.
Yeah.
And from just one movie, I've watched all the movies.
Wow.
You went to watch one movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
give me one record. I'm a Nolly YouTube
And
lover.
another one, Brown Sugar.
Oh.
Eronini and Tina Umba. They're the one.
okay.
Imagine Eronini, a 20-something-year-old guy,
And
and Tina.
That's a veteran actress.
That movie took me to. I was like, no, please, my heart is too. Someone that is in the age of my mommy and like my younger brother.
Yeah.
Dating and doing things. But it was a very interesting, movie dynamic.
So Brown Sugar, what's the one with Blossom Chukwuemeka?
Greece to
From Greece to Grace?
Greece to Grace, yes.
And last third one.
The title is not coming to mind. I think before you take the vow or something about the
You know,
vow.
the
Just
funny
tell
thing
us the
is-
story.
the funny
Yes.
thing is that like that's why I watch only YouTube movies. I don't usually know their titles.
Yeah.
I just click, I just watch.
But check Only Good Films.
Yeah, I think one of the movies that I watch, actually I've been rewatching Teen Wolf. You know, but then one of
That's
the
a good movie,
Nollywood,
no?
yeah, I'm rewatching it. But then I watched there's this movie on Wumi Toriola. Yoruba. I used to watch movie Toriola.
I like Kaina Jack.
Just count out those conversations. I've never watched a movie on YouTube.
Really? You are missing.
This movie Toriola movie that I'm watching now, like she very good woman. She found a very nice husband, proposed to her, and then she does something that goes to club. So on the nights, like I think the week after her husband proposed, everything like good, everything was going on, good job, everything. Her friends were like, you haven't been to the club. So she went to the club and then she slept with somebody that night. So she was living with the guilt, but she couldn't tell her fiance.
Wow.
So next thing you know, the next week, her fiance introduces the guy she slept with as her cousin. as his cousin.
What's this? Guys, don't worry. The story happen in real life.
It actually does happen. I swear it happens.
Don't worry.
You
see, not only YouTube movies made out of figments of reality. And then it's not like I think you're watching Avengers where you cannot see Captain America flying anywhere. So you actually even see the road at the back of the house.
and the stories that you can relate to.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think I should start my YouTube journey.
I'll
check only good
You
things.
cannot exhaust it. But start with just go and watch Brown Sugar.
But this there was a movie that was trending last year, that Achalugo movie. I don't know. I think that's how I'll start with.
To me, don't let me give
that one is generic ones. That one is for
that
newbies.
movie is just it's a good movie, but it's okay.
It's surface level ones.
For the OGs to be saying that the movie is not, that means
it's not like just a movie that you just watch, you smile and you have a good time.
So it doesn't,
yeah.
But it's not
like,
the
ones go deep into all this, like if you go to all this Omoni Oboli TV
with
Uche
Skadiri.
Montana,
I think she won one award last year.
All that stuff.
Yes.
I think she won.
So our actors, our producers are doing amazingly well. So all you Nigerians, I say that I don't like watching Nigerian movies. I don't like listening to Nigerian podcasts.
Yeah, I actually watch. So the ones that drop on like Netflix, them like I actually watch. Like I think last year I watched. Actually one of my favorite movies of all time is To Kill a Monkey. I can't lie. Like I actually did enjoy it. Like that's the top thing. Yeah, then I like what's this? King of Boys. Right. I think every came out did one movie.
Yeah, it's just generic popular ones. So it's
go to YouTube and see
this guy that how these people
movies that they come, everything is inside the house, but you are feeling not there.
All those movies, 3 sets locations, 6 actors,
the
and
house,
actresses.
the road.
And
the car.
Sometimes there's one similarly not movie like only one like 4 hours fits around movie. I'm not even joking. They don't stress themselves, but you go enjoy them.
Yes.
See, if it's not like this salon, but different angles, and they go shoot.
Sometimes you feel like this is the same house. This room is inside this house, but they will use different entrance.
The office will be another room inside the same house, so they shoot. You see, so it's not like I'm going back home. They're not really going. They're just going to the parlor. Don't worry, I love them like man. But yeah, let's move on to the topic at hand, please, before we.
No, I've not done my song of the week. You have
song
I'm not talking about my own.
Yeah, talk about your
song of the week. Okay, so I've been in my post Valentine's feeling. I've been in my love bag. So I've been listening to Bruno Mars. So Locked Out of Heaven. That's my first song. Second is Just the Way You Are, and the last one is Fun. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's a song by Fun. That's
Some Nights.
British group. Yeah, Some Nights. No, but I mean, I've been listening to the album, but like, obviously Some Nights is like the OG song, right? So, but yeah, those are my top 3 songs. See, no Nigerian song goes on my distance. But next week, by God's grace.
Okay.
Let's hear your own.
No comments.
My own songs of the week, I don't listen to Amapiano, Snoko. 1+1 is 2, Snoko. And I've been re-listening to Nakupenda. Oh my God, what is this?
You had that song like last week. You don't change your music taste, like it doesn't develop.
That's all. And then lastly, I've been listening to Contraband, BOJ and Olamide.
Oh yeah, I like the song, bro. I actually like the song. I like that song. I can't lie. I like that song.
But moving on to the topic at hand, I always wonder, like even on this episode, like there were let's not even like there were times where Isaac and I, like when we first like record So Nigerian, like don't talk about sex on the podcast. Sex. C6. Oh my God. That time I was a virgin. I'm still a virgin, but Isaac was not a virgin anymore. But like he just felt it wasn't comfortable enough.
Since I have known you, even from primary school, I'm almost certain that you've never
from primary school.
Okay, I knew you in primary school. Okay. Let me say, since I've known you since university, I'm very certain that you've not kept yourself holy?
I'm very new to like sexual experiences and all this stuff. Like that's why I need to learn.
Yeah,
you understand?
same here, Sean.
Yeah, because I've just been on a different journey and path.
I'm not new to it, right? But I learned it in the classroom. Like one of the things I will say here is stuff from the classroom. Like
the lecturers have taught you.
Yeah, you understand. And I've done research.
You've done research.
Exactly.
Written papers about.
I've written papers. Like, my senior colleague. My senior colleague.
But what do you think? What do you think? Like most Nigerians, even young and old, everybody always very, one
They're
kind
shy.
to like sexual
It's like a touch-not conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's our cultural dynamics here in Nigeria and even Africa generally. Black people don't like to talk about their sexual relationship. They don't even like to give advice to, adolescents. A lot of parents they feel shy talking about it. Let me even ask you, did your parent talk to you about, maybe sexual education while growing up?
Bro, never. I feel like it would even be very awkward. I can't lie. But I think they will just say it in person, like, I don't do this.
Or they will twist it to maybe the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. But they will never say like, oh, don't do this or run away if you are in this kind of situation or something.
I mean, the only thing is that like if you have sex before marriage is a sin, and like that's the only thing my mother is saying.
Bro, and it was, like you said, it's just Bible. They just come with the Bible. Yeah.
Connotations, I guess. But I mean, this is not something.
It's our religion dynamics in church, in the mosques, in traditional society, everywhere. It's like a touch-not conversation.
Yeah.
And they expect you that when you are married, you should be having sex. So even to those that are newly getting married, and maybe they've not had any sexual experience,
like us,
they also
like
don't know. Like you, they also don't know, how to go about it. They can never go back and meet their parents in some cases because this is something your parents don't talk to you about. For example, growing up, my parents never said, there was nothing like, there was, don't enter a relationship, do not date anybody. I was not see you with a guy. They see you with a guy like this, you know that everything is going to come down. So I already have that part in my brain locked out. And immediately I was finishing from school, I remember on my graduation, the body was like, hey, where is the brother? I'm like,
from where?
Azal.
Is that just a big brother? Like, where is the brother? And he faced my brother too. Where is the sister? And my brother was like, hey, if which background we pray, there's no brother or there's no sister anywhere. So they just expect a miracle to happen suddenly. So our culture is also sometimes is not also appreciating conversations like this.
Yeah.
You can't the information they feed into young people, into children, into adolescents, it is fear, it is threats, something like, oh, if you should sleep with somebody, I'm going to disown you, I'm going to send you out of this family.
Yeah.
And there are many people with stories like that of their parents disowning them
Definitely.
and not, relating with them again. Especially those that are maybe pastors or top imams. They don't want to relate with their children, and maybe they say, oh, you've sinned, you brought disgrace to my family, you brought them back. And the thing is that you never taught your child. So what are we expecting? So someone that you did not explain to that, if you are feeling a certain way, it's not a must for you to try it out. You are supposed to, instead of you not just saying, don't do this, abstain. Tell them why you want them to abstain. Explain that, what if you go and sleep with somebody and the person has your genotype? Maybe you are AS, and you go and give her to SS. And you are a teenager. Imagine the dynamics. There's a lady I follow online. She lives in maybe Uganda, and she was 15 or 16 when she was abused, and she had a child. And the child she gave birth to is on a spectrum. The child is not, not fully okay. And I can imagine the trauma, the pain she's asked to deal with. The child academically, he can't stand with his peers.
Yeah.
So, and she was a teenager when that happened. So imagine if maybe she was born in a good home, they've advised her, they've counseled her, maybe she wouldn't have been abused. And even if she had been abused, if they've noticed the defects internally, maybe they could have done maybe, an abortion, and it could have been in a safe space. But it is what it is. Nigerian parents.
There's something you said that just reminded me of. I saw a tweet this week where the lady said she was in a church, and the pastor, after his sermon, started crying, and I think he mentioned that his daughter just got pregnant or something, and he's saying this to, I think, seek their forgiveness or something like that. And then he walked out and everybody stood up and they started clapping, and she's like, oh, our society is healing or something like that. And in my head I'm like why he shouldn't be judged.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's because even them clapping is like, oh, I feel like okay, they're clapping because like, oh, it took him a lot of confidence.
Yes, to
for
say
him to
it.
open up and say that.
And I think the child was a teenager.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think they don't want her to carry out abortion. So saying it openly, like, you must have the child.
She must have that. Exactly. Do you get? And I just feel like it shouldn't be something like shame is a thing in our society, right? They make us feel like everybody in situations like this. Because I remember there's a lady in my area, right? She's a young lady, and her mom has like a shop around the area, and so I didn't see her for a long time. This was like 2024. I didn't see her for a long time, and then she came, I think around December, and I saw her with a child. This girl just finished secondary school. I saw her with a child, and her dad. So the day she came outside with the baby, like her dad, like was shouting like,
she to go back
inside, like,
because to them she's a shame.
Yeah, she's a shame. And me, I went to the shop, I bought something, I even greeted. I was like, I didn't ask, is this your baby? Because I felt like it would be weird, right? But I was like playful, like I made it feel like normal, like okay, it's like this has happened, do you understand? But her dad was like, then her mom was not giving her that face like, carry this baby inside, or more people will see you. And it's just like, it has happened, right?
She should just live with it's a consequence you have to deal with for life, but it's one of those things.
I mean, it all stems to conversations not being had. You know, and there's so many conversations, even down to there's so many complexities when it comes to like sexual health or reproductive health or sexual education as a whole. And I think,
and when most people think sexual education, most parents only hear the sexual part of it.
Yeah,
they don't know that sexual education goes beyond just the sex in itself. There is the part of consent. There is menstruation. There is puberty changes. There is STI and HIV. All those things are there. But the only thing they just say, me, brother, I must not see you with any man. And if you're a guy to even impregnate somebody, I will.
And so and that's why like we decided that, you know, one thing that we need to touch on, because there's so many people that even as adulted, you know, they don't have proper sensitization on consent in sexual education and consent in sexual relations, you know. And I think one of the things that we need to, and why we actually even brought you here to even speak on that, is consent and boundaries in relationships. And I feel like growing up, even as adults, is non-existent to really talked about. Now imagine young Nigerians and youth and teenagers. I'm sure that one is not even there.
They feel like you're supposed to catch up with time.
Yeah, I was fortunate. Yeah, I grew up with sisters. You know, I'm the only boy. So I think this was like 2015, 2016. My sister was one that actually had those conversations with me, and thank God my older sister, and you know, she's a feminist and everything, so like it was a much more deeper and then it was a much more, obviously like I was cringe at that time. I'm like, bro, why are you telling me all these things? Like, you know,
it can be cringe, but at least you've gotten the information. That's amazing.
So I was fortunate to just have like the conversation, and as somebody that was also exposed to social media at that time. So like 2016, 2017, so, you know, there was Twitter, rape culture, all these things. So, you know, they'll actually call out the person and they'll tell in detail story of how it happened. So even corroborating with the way my sister taught me was in the aspect of or even little things like forceful coercion, you know, like coercion and those other things, you know, that comes with things, even some things that we basically might have even done in secondary school, having basic knowledge.
You know the funny thing, like while I was in secondary school, like it was like some things didn't make sense to me, right? Like when like boys maybe catcalling, right? Like maybe a girl is passing, they will now say, see you, something like it never made any sense to me, because I'm just like, what?
Because to me, it's not funny.
Like, it's not fun. But even down to uni. So the school we went to, like, so there was a particular hostel that was just right in front of the cafeteria. So in the evening when girls are passing, sometimes it wasn't like an everyday thing, but like I remember vividly one night where like girls were passing and like some guys just stayed at a particular side and like they were literally saying like if the girl will pass, this way she's big good.
The thing is I did not even know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know till a certain age that catcalling was a form of harassment. And that also stems to proper sensitization to some of those guys, even Agberos, all those guys, everything. So people
if you are
do not
going in the
know.
market, say my color.
Exactly.
Exactly. So people don't have proper sensitization as to those things being a form of sexual harassment.
Yes.
But I think what I want us to even touch explicitly on is in the angle of consent, in the angle of why is the conversation literally next to not being had in Nigerian youth or system? Like, why?
I believe, Nigerian parents, like our own parents, what they were being handed over to from their own parents was also a form of, you don't talk about these things. If you go to from their own generation, based on the things my parents used to say or I hear from older adults, you don't talk about sexual conversation, as a lady, and also the dynamics of their relationship at the time. You as a lady, they'll just tell you that, a man is coming to come and marry you off today. So you have no decision in who you are going to marry. So many of them, there was nothing like love. They just stayed
Arranged
and they
marriage.
gave birth. And you're hearing a lot of young people nowadays now saying that I feel like we won't go back to the arranged marriage. I believe they want to try it.
They're not in the streets.
Yeah, they're not in the streets. So let us go back to what our parents did. But many of them, there was no consent in their marriage. And the consent is when you willingly give approval to your partner to carry out anything with you, even if it is to touch you. And when I was in primary school, even to secondary school, I was not comfortable with somebody touching me. And I've always been, I will not say I've been on the big size, but people have always been calling me fat. Like, you're a big girl, you're fat. So some people like touching my arm, and I'm not convenient with it. So if I should tell some of my male friends, don't touch me, don't hug me, I was not comfortable with it. But to them, they're like, your hand is soft, it's soft. And I'm like, leave my hand alone. Like, I was not comfortable. But then I did not really know how to speak up. I was very shy, so I would just leave it alone. Until one of my male friends said, if you are not comfortable with something, say it, shout it till you hear. The people around you will adjust, because or else people will keep taking you for a ride. So as a young person watching this, my own counsel would be that be willing to say your consent, like give consent. And consent is either yes or no. Consent is not I don't know. Consent is not shaking of head. So if that baby you're talking to and she's not giving you maybe you want to take her out and she's not giving you a go ahead, it's not a license for you to be like, hey, but I'm a man, I can spend money on you. I'm not be forcing yourself. There's no point forcing yourself than our truths. And even teenagers in secondary school now, things are happening. Because I remember I do research, so I used to collect data. So I went to a particular secondary school in Ibadan to collect data. And I noticed the way the SS2 class, the way the boys were talking to the girls as if they were controlling them. I had to tell the boys that they're your classmates. Like, what's happening here? The guy will say you cannot go out, and the girls will not go out. Or the guy will just spank the girl bum. I'm like, you have in class. And their teachers are seeing it. Teachers are like, I said, auntie, mommy.
I think that's another thing, like it stems to, in terms of like us being Africans, I feel like there's a culturally or traditionally, there is, even in terms of like marriage, there's like like patriarchal power structure towards it, in terms of like, it might not necessarily be like out of morally or all that stuff. Is in the aspect of how
or something that desire has been and
in the terms of like the patriarchal power structure, even in terms of like marriage as well. So sometimes in the traditional history or cultural values, they see marriage as a avenue for unlimited sex with the wife. They see that you cannot have refusal to sex as a married woman to your husband and all those kind of stuff. Like, it's like, and those are even the sensitizations that even our older generation do not have.
Sorry, I have a very funny story to this, and I think I've said it on this podcast before. So in uni, in final year, we did like this short presentations. It was for a particular course, so we did like short presentations at the end of the semester. So but at the beginning of the semester, you show the lecturer your topic. It was like a small project. Show the lecturer your topic, and you present it at the end of the semester. So at the end of this, when we were presenting, one girl, her topic was on consent in marriage, right? And so when she was presenting, the lecturer was on his phone. Then I think because he wasn't really there, like he wasn't really paying attention. So in our head, so when everybody that presented that day had presented, like he wasn't paying attention, like he was just scoring anything. He felt like, but when in our head, consent in marriage, like this thing rang in his ear, like consent. It's not possible. He said, did I look at this topic before you? She said, yes, I presented it to you in your office before I started working on it. He said, it's like I didn't approve the topic because consent does not exist in marriage. Like, we argued as in, like, that girl wanted to start crying. She was like, she can't believe that, like, this is a professor saying, he's a professor of psychology, not just...
I said that culture is culture as...
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like for the conversation of consent, right, I feel like there's this, like Dami has said, I think in Africa, I don't know if outside the world, right, there's this perception that, like, for men, like, we... Like they have like this pass to women's bodies.
Yes.
And it's like a thing of dominance. Like, when I want something from you,
you must give it to me.
You must give it to me.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the mood,
culturally and traditionally, especially like for us as Africans, a wife's refusal for sex is culturally discouraged.
She's not submissive enough.
Exactly. So
why she's not willing to release her body.
So those are
and sometimes, like I did a video last year, and I was saying in that video that sexual abuse, it is sexual abuse to the wife if the husband wants to have sex with her and she did not give her permission and you force her, trust me, you've raped her. You have. Because if she's saying that, no, I'm not, like, she has told you she's not interested and you forcefully no. But every year some Christian ladies saying, it's like, oh, if I don't have a choice, when they be saying it, I'm like...
You even hear pastors actually say it on the altar.
Sometimes I hear some of those things, like, it's eyes to my head.
Yeah, some pastors will say, if you don't give your husband what he wants in the marriage,
he has the right
to go outside, or you must take it by force. And like, it's just absurd.
And another thing is that people don't even have enough education to know that even things like saying, baby, just the tip now. Even that just the tip. Even that you've coercing her
to say, persuade her.
They say,
you
don't tell her say just the tip. Like she go do now, persuade her. That's even a form of abusing her consent, because she obviously has said no multiple times, but then you're being persuasive in your mind, you're trying to convince her mind, but at the same time you're literally coercing her into doing something that she doesn't want to do.
And sometimes coercion can be very subtle.
Yeah.
Not even the first one of you maybe eating you, slapping you and the likes. Be like, but all your friends are doing, every secondary school zone, everybody's doing it. Go and ask your friend. Tokwe has done it with her boyfriend. Oh, Shola has done it. Oh, Ngozi has done it. So it's like, it's soft to hear, like, since all my friends have done this, let me too.
And at that age, you want to join with it. You want to jump on the trend. You want to feel among, like, right?
All your peers. I remember I was in university. There was a time in 100 level that all my friends had an entanglement. Someone in a relationship, someone in a situationship. At least everybody was in a ship. And in my flat, I was staying in a 3-bedroom flat, and we were like 6. So I was the only one out of like 6 of us that was single. So there was a time that everybody was coupled up. That day I said, where is that man?
There was pressure.
Wait, if the man come now, I'm going. Because I was like, this room, somebody's there, sitting room, somebody's there, dining, somebody's there. Like, people were coupled up. But last, none of them is married now. They got broken up. In a way, let me say that's a victory.
Why you didn't vex? Why you didn't vex? You said before, don't find your mind now. Before find your mind.
I mean, before we go, you guys, we have like a Q&A on our WhatsApp channel. So if you're not on our WhatsApp channel, you're on your own.
Yes, sir.
So we have a Q&A where we basically just have dropped like questions and we've just discussed basically some of these things. But you can also share on social media as well. But just moving on to the whole thing about obviously there's some misconceptions, that the idea of consent. I feel like when we always also talk about it, you said something as you said something relating to taking it by force and all those things. I feel like people only talk about consent in extreme situations, and what's the misconception behind that?
And because that's what people are bringing out. So like saying, maybe in the areas of rape, in the areas of maybe between husband and wife, like married couples, or those experiencing maybe violence in their relationship. That's one that is usually more pronounced. Because in a very sensitive relationship where things are going on well, you're supposed to communicate to your partner.
Yeah.
If people are not speaking, I say a lot of people are not speaking in their relationship. They're only going out to go and eat food. Or going to go and watch movies.
They're not being honest with each other.
They're not having the honest, reasonable conversation. So they don't really talk about, I don't feel comfortable when you touch me like this. It's not. Then you have to explain, because some people, if you talk to them and you ask them questions, but it dates back to me when they were in secondary school. I remember I was in primary school, maybe primary 3. There's one particular man that we used to go and buy something in the shop. he has a son. And the son was always calling me my wife. I was 7 years old, and then something, my wife. And then I think Osofia,
in London.
yes, Osofia, the man, did a movie then, and he was calling one young lady my wife. So the man was not telling me that, the way Osofia later married the lady. So that's that I will still marry you. And I was like, you are in your 20s.
What?
Like, yes, and I was 7. And I was like, my dad was like, this thing, why do you stop taking me to that shop? He said, my daughter is not your wife. But like, these are things. And to him, he was joking. To him, it was just like, I was just having fun. But if he had come back to maybe marry me, it would have been like, and I've been telling you when you're 7 years old.
Almost like grooming.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it starts.
It happens.
That's how it starts.
And those are things that, like, boundaries, things, even in terms of like conversation and things that are being said, and in terms of that extreme situations, even in the aspect of silence, silence is not agreement in terms of consent.
Silence is not.
And
I said consent is either yes or no.
Not
It's not, I don't know. It's not shaking of head. It's not nodding of head. It's not, let me think about it. It's not.
you don't talk more about that. Would be like Nigerian examples, in terms of like youth and like sexual relations,
An example is not coming to mind now, but I know that typical scenarios is maybe you just finished a date with your partner, or with a lady you're just trying to know. Someone or a guy that you just saw. The way we used to watch American movies, and when they are done, they will now kiss.
One night stand, or they do one night stand.
Or they will do one night stand, and they'll go and sleep with them. Sometimes I wonder that these people don't used to know that HIV is real, because that's what used to come to my head. Like, how will I see a stranger and that night? We've seen videos and like people like, after like 2-3 days, then you cannot like have sex. But the question is, did he ask you before going ahead? But not sometimes already in the heat of the moment. How you see some cases where the ladies will now come out and drag the guy that the guy abused her. Because you never asked for her consent. You never asked that, should we go ahead with it? But you just felt like, because she was feeling it. And I remember I saw a movie last year I think it was Biodu's team that did the movie, and of a guy that at this same scenario went down with his colleague in the office, and the lady took it against him and took him to reporting to the police that she was raped by him. And the guy was like, it was consensual. The lady was like, I never told you I want to do it. And that's the little things that that comes up in conversations, even among I also want us to look at it from the people, from situations of maybe those that are in a place of power to those that don't have power. Maybe, for example, your boss at work to a colleague, so employer-employee relationship, or maybe you're in charge and you that are the subordinates are just growing, and your in charge is telling you that, wait for me, I want to see you by 11 p.m. Or if you are working till 10 p.m. at work, your guard is already down, you're already tired, and before you know it, anything that happens, please, sir, face because if that lady can sit down and write her story, you're gone.
And it happens a lot in Nigeria. I remember where I worked during NYSC, like there was a particular guy, like he was a senior man in the office. They never, so like the older woman in the office knew what he used to do, right? But because of the way the Nigerian system is, like they can't, if they call him out because he's a senior man, he can like mess them up or something. So they never would send what's like everybody knew it was an established rule. Don't send female coppers to this guy's office. So if you want a document sent to his office or something, send a guy to his office. But in my head, I'm just like, why not
report him
to like, I know, even when I was in school, right, there was a particular lecturer that he was a senior man suggesting that like the whole school, like he used to, maybe if you're having chapel service or something, like
there's one lecturer in my school that is stable, is always free. His wife portrait is here, and the rest of the table is free. So students in the department, I didn't know that things go down on the table. Like his gist as
in
casted.
Front of his wife's portrait.
Yes, his wife's portrait is here. The day I saw him physically, like he came to my side in my city, and I saw his wife, and I'm like, this man has a very pretty wife. Like, what was happening to you, sir? And I'm sure we'll be transmitting STI up and down. Because all those
the one I was even talking about, like so somebody, like there was a recorded conversation, right? Wow. Like somebody recorded him, like, and then they took it to like somebody else in the department, and they're like,
They won't be able to do it.
Because this guy is like a big man in like the years. So like they just like
and that power dynamics is it's very sad for people in that kind of shoes. Even for guys too. There's some guys that are in those kind of shoes where the lady is like she's the Oga that everybody's saying yes ma to. And there's really, and if Oga said that she wants you, Oga gets what Oga wants.
There was a particular organization recently, I think it was 2 years ago, they actually called like their female boss out. Like is a multinational safe, and they called out that like, if any guy that gets promoted or any guy that got promoted between the period of when this calling out happened and when she joined the organization, he definitely did something with her.
Wow.
To get
that one also, obviously, like there's the power dynamics that comes with, the consent part as well, because that's even another angle. Some people, because of they have more power, they are much more known and everything, they just force that concept. I think the biggest one thing we don't even talk about is the one of employer-employee. Like it happens a whole lot. Is a lot of obviously like there's some employees that consent to it, but most of the thing is fueled. Most of that consent sometimes can be fueled under the aspect of fear of losing their job. There's no job in Nigeria, so you just imagine like I might as well just do this thing and just keep my job. They'll threaten them and the
or something because of maybe extra bonus.
Exactly.
And someone was sharing a story with me of how the lady was always, if she want to travel, she go meet her boss. Sir, please can you help me with maybe money for flights? And I was telling her, I said, this thing you are doing, your boss is going to try something because you are always asking him, you have a salary, plan your trip around your salary. But she was always this tight to ask him till he asked her out. I said, you see, it was just so obvious that what you are doing, you are cooking him up and he's going to ask. Because I can't be giving you 500k today. Next 2 weeks,
she's not returning it.
And she's not returning it. 500k today, 300k.
My mom used to say something that like, it's not good to be indebted to Nigerians or to human beings as a general.
Now imagine you're indebted to your boss.
Yeah, so now imagine. So I feel like there are even people listening here where there are cases where, especially like let's say female coppers and all these things where there are times where they've just been forced to do what they're not supposed to do, probably through power dynamics, patriarchal power structure, and all those things in the aspect of
there's some PPA that they only send female coppers to their PPA, and the men know what they are doing. They know what they.
I feel another conversation we should also even have is people that allow these things.
Yes.
When you guys are talking, I just remember the situation that happened last year. A friend's girlfriend, she works as a nurse in a hospital, and the hospital, one of the doctors was making advances to her, right? And so she took the case to like a senior nurse, and I was like, hey, what to be will be now?
Hey,
and I'm just like, I was mad.
I feel like everything about this.
What about this older woman?
Yeah.
So they'll be like, I want to shave you.
The one I saw play out, they groped a woman at the bus stop in Ikeja, and the woman was like, she could not understand. She was like, why would you do this? And it was a small boy, all these truck pushers, literally, that groped her. And she wanted to slap him, then they held her and they calmed down. Then one woman was like, if you get time, if like say you get time for your hand, better enter bus mode, you go. Say you be the first one where they touch. And I'm just like,
yeah, because all these things are traditionally like there's no sensitization. Those old people, like there's genuinely no.
I see some older people, if they take it, start flogging nonsense out of their brain.
I've watched Yoruba movies where they say, hey, it's your husband now, you can take it now. They'll be telling their daughters, hey, let's use your husband now, you can give him whenever he wants it, all those kind of things. And
they will never even try to understand the wife's perspective.
So, and that's the thing, like one thing that I remember in like when we were coming to 2023 election, I was having a conversation with my dad, and my dad was like, most of his friends, one thing that obviously my dad is part of the older generation. He will tell you that one of the things about this older generation or his friends is they are not evolving in terms of like their education.
Yes.
They obviously grew up.
They are still in 1990s.
Exactly. So like they grew up with the mindset of the traditional and cultural things, like even down to even.
Now imagine a younger couple going to meet them for advice.
Yes. So my father would not be like, and it's not like they are not educated. These men, all of them, like Isaac used the example of the professor, but just like they are not willing to bend cultural values with education and proper sensitization. So it's like even down to voting and politics, because we're talking in that aspect of politics at that time. Just be like, imagine tribalism in 2023. As at that time, that's what my father would tell you in 2022, 2023. Imagine, voting up based on tribe and all these things. When there's proper sensitization and education that you can know that this candidate is right for the country, this person is going to be corrupt, this person is going to ruin the country. Everything is all about facts, figures, experiences. It also stems to these older people, these women, these people saying, oh, to them, like this, that's how they've been culturally. They'll tell you culturally, a wife cannot refuse her husband's sex. Traditionally,
I think in this month of February we celebrated International Day of FGM and of ending and FGM, either February or December. I can't remember the actual month. And the female FGM means female genital mutilation, where they will cut the female clitoris. Sometimes to the very end, so that it will just be the one inside. There's nothing outside again. And I remember when I was working in one organization, we did an interview with some older women, and the older woman was saying that watching shit, like it's about culture, it's something that should be. And I'm like, why is that everything's always about women? Like people don't used to do like to be the men that we will at least can they bring out something that does not favor the men? And when it comes to our body, when it comes to sexual relationship, can we just mention one? And the older woman was just saying that so she went behind her daughter's back to go and mutilate her grandchild. Yes. And the daughter lost it. Like she lost it. Everything.
She should be arrested, to be honest.
And the mother was like, say no mushe. And the daughter was like, do you think I'm enjoying my marriage? I'm not enjoying my partner.
Let me ask, like culturally, what does this signify for them? Like when they do that to a child, like
to them, they feel like they are protecting the lady from having sexual desire. So she will not be, when she sees men, she will not, nothing with ginger in her body. And I'm like, all of you.
You're destroying the child's life.
Thank you. It's not supposed to be enjoyed.
You're destroying the child's life.
So they feel like, as a lady, you should not have any sexual desire. You should be focused, So that is why a lot of older people did it. And to them, is a thing of culture. It's just like, this my great grandmother did this for my grandmother, so I must pass it on. So to them, it's about passing down the culture that they've received, not knowing that this culture. I think in some countries in West Africa, they celebrate it like a party. The way they will do introduction and engagement.
Are you serious?
Yes.
For FGM.
Yes.
Yeah.
They celebrate those that girls that want to be mutilated. It's like a big party. They will give your father's cows. Like it's a big party. So to you, say like me say I cannot wait to be mutilated in 2026, and it is still happening. If you go to it is still happening. If you go to some of these villages, if you go to some places in Oyo town, go to some places in Ekiti, it is still happening in this day and age.
Is there like a sensitization or
there've been a lot of sensitization. A lot of organizations are doing work about it. They are going to villages, they are going to communities, speaking about it. I think there's a Yoruba movie I've seen about it, like a short 30-minute movie, and they educate parents, older people about it. But the thing is that some people are educated. They've gone to the abroad, they've been there. But that culture is still in them, that they will send someone from Nigeria to come and mutilate their child abroad. Yes.
That's because the thing, like, I'm telling you that,
culture is deep.
See, I'm telling you that there's no amount of exposure, there's no amount of westernization that can remove culture and tradition from some people. There's people that, like, when they spend 30 years for Western world, like, nothing will also remove them from what they do.
Still be in your body.
So, like, all of these things also stems to like cultural and traditional values, and even down to patriarchal power structure, whether we like it or not. In terms of how you were saying, everything's always when rape cases come, they'll say, what did she wear? Instead of actually accountability.
Let's address the issue.
Those are some of the issues. Another thing is that taking us back to that this thing of consents, in terms of like workplace and all these things. I think we need to shift the conversation from like consent to boundaries in the aspect of pressure is not persuasion, pressure is literally disguised as persuasion in a certain type of way, and those are things where people cannot even say no without feeling guilty, even in terms of like romantic relationships, or people guilt trip their partners for sex or to saying yes for sex, and those are things that people don't even have adequate conversation with. Your baby they vex, say, baby, that I'm very stressed at work now. Baby, just let's just let us do. But she's not in the mood. She doesn't want to do, and then you're trying to say things like that. And those are conversations that people do not understand. That is a form of abusing people's boundaries.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's another thing that we need to properly also understand as young Nigerians or as young people.
Boundaries in your place of work.
Yeah.
And the aspect I'm going to say is that as a lady, even as a guy, you should just know the kind of conversation you are having with your colleagues, or even with your senior colleague, or with your senior partner, even with your boss.
Yeah.
Because there are some subtle way when they will just bring the joke. See you are looking fine. Oh, you are chubby. Your waist is set. Oh, did you just do BBL? Like all those subtle jabs. You should not be accepting it. Be quick to say, sorry, it's not funny. I read a tweet this week of a lady that said she went to the market to go and buy something, and somebody in the market she wanted to buy chicken. So she wanted them to like kill the chicken in the market and pieces it. So the man asked her, "Oh, do you want head?" The lady immediately said, "No, I don't want. Like, I don't want the head of the chicken."
Yeah.
The man said, "Do you like?" He still repeated it, so she knew where it was. And people around her were like, "How come you buying sherry or he's just using it to play?"
A random guy
Yes, a random guy in the market, like a chicken seller. Like, how can you divert the conversation from chicken to
like your business?
Yes, to do you want head? And immediately the woman was like, she did not entertain the joke. So like there's just some kind of question that you should not entertain, and be firm in your response. If sometimes you're going to know that this thing is going to be a threat to me or a threat to my workplace, if there is a report, a way they report, a whistleblowing policy in your organization, then you should go about
some of these HR self.
HR will just tell you, manage.
That's all God they do.
Actually, I know a situation where like a boss assaulted the staff took it to the HR took it to the boss. I said, what do we do about it too? I will just call two of you, do counseling at the matter. I'm not joking. And I'm just like,
I'm dead.
In 24th century.
And then, this thing about like...
And I know that most things, the things we do these days, just to bring these people online and start dragging them.
Yeah, and just ends there.
Why do you always have to abuse your phone? Bring it online. They'll go and arrest the person. It's just the same cycle.
Yeah.
Every organization should have a whistleblowing policy, and nobody should be above that policy. So if you abuse anyone or you assault anyone, the person should be able to report, and either you get suspended or they sack you from the organization. It should be a normal. Even in school, lecturers to students, it should not be a case where I should be afraid that I'm going to fail this course. You know that there are a lot of ladies that if the lecturer just call them out, they know that why is Dr. Kiniko saying you want to see me? You didn't know that something's going to go down.
Yeah.
Or if you realize that you had a E in this course, or you had a F in this course, I know that you did not, you read. Yeah. You actually passed the course, but the lecturer asked something for you.
He wants you to come see.
In most cases, like you hear people saying that they meant to pray about it. Like, why I know that yes, we are supposed to pray about it, but why do you always have to resort to the prayer? Why can't you just report? There should be a structured way of reporting. Even in churches, pastors and some choir choir. Pastor and some workers in church, and the pastor will be abusing. There are many stories of you hearing online of some choir member who came out and say, there's a lot of choirs. There's even choirs are always in the front.
There's this famous pastor that got arrested many years ago, and so one of his members came to speak about her experience with him, and she said he would, like, it was just manipulation, right? And he would tell them that he's like, after God is him, like he's next. And so he will bring them to his house. Men and women, like everybody's walking around naked. Like you say, his house is Garden of Eden. This is where the world started. So you come as you are. So they walk around naked. Then he would call some to his room. Men and women, not just women. And he calls them to his room and do. So like manipulation also comes to play in all of these situations.
I need there situations where you cannot report in offices. Please find another organization.
Yeah, because it's not worth it.
The sad
I have a female friend. That she was just she stayed jobless for like 7 months. Her boss was always trying to sleep with her, and she was not comfortable with it, every single thing. And I think when we had the conversation, it also brings me back to the conversation of things that are being said in the office space, things that are very, very not even office space, cool space, people around you, everything, things that just crosses your boundaries. And that's why I like women that are very self-confident, and women that are very stern, women that are very stern and very, very opinionated, little jokes. And some of these men see your responses or your agreement to these jokes as consent, in a sense. So if Shaliwa, then you say, sir, don't call me sir, call me Wale. Don't call me sir. I say, okay, Wale. This case that you're wearing, he's shaking nicely. He say, sir, you like it, Abby? Those are things that I invite.
It's just
so, sir, why are you talking about my skirts? Sir, I don't need to look at my skirts, please. Respectfully, and now you know that you're not to be fucked with or you're not to be played with, And those are things I just used to be doing. Next thing we'll tell you to come to his office. Next thing he's inviting you to his house in this thing. Or next thing he's like, what? Follow me for a drive. Follow me. Let's take you to this nice spots. Next thing
things have gone down.
Coercing and all those kind of things, and down to the conversation. And let me even finish my own story. So she was getting frustrated at work because every single thing, the office trip, we would say, let her follow me on the trip to Abuja. She followed him and she was so uncomfortable. She asked for a separate room. She did get a separate room, but it was like, let's work on this presentation. Come to my all those little things. She told me all of this story, and then it got to the point where after that trip, she just this guy just wants to. Obviously,
he has
she predictability. You're a human being. You could foresee what will happen. And it's down for you to make the next step. Next thing, she resigned. And he was trying to even annul the resignation. He was trying to do you understand? He was trying to, and she it was to the point where, similarly to what you said about collecting cash gifts, he would always offer cash gifts. He would buy food for office. When he would send the person to buy food, buy for so and so too, that kind of thing. But she did chop and down.
Colleagues at work would be seeing everything.
But they
will not talk.
Yeah, but she just saw her boss is nice, that kind of thing. But she obviously should predict after that Abuja trip and saw what do you mean I have to come to work on presentation by 11 p.m. all those kind of things. So she resigned, and unfortunately for her, 7 months she couldn't find a job. But by the 8th month, she got a job that was paying her 6 times more than the job that they wanted.
That's a testimony.
Do you understand?
Testimony.
So it was just her being brave and bold and taking that. Some people would obviously imagine not having a job for months, but it was better than feeling uncomfortable every time. Every time I want to start a new job, or anytime I have people talking about, don't get a new job, as you're praying for that job, you're praying for a conducive work environment.
Very, very important. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah, so all those emotional manipulation parts is a part that, see, older men, and that one even comes in relationships more. I feel like there's so many times where emotional manipulation is a game between partners that it gets to the part where consent is being blurred or boundaries are being disrespected.
They'll be like, you have to satisfy your partner. Your partner is the alpha and the omega.
Do you understand?
What is that? Sorry, but
bro, it gets to the point where you're having a very bad day, genuinely on your life. Sexual relation is the last thing
on your mind,
at this point. But you're like, babe, I need to distress now. Babe, give me this thing now. And babe, I want to look for it outside. Those are the forms of manipulation. Those are things that it's even a form that is abusing people's boundaries.
Or maybe when he goes out to, maybe he cheated and he comes back, he'll be like, it is because of you. Because you did not give me the permission. I'm like, uncle, because of me, am I the one that told you to go outside? I hear cases of people that they cheated sexually outside and they come back and hear that it's because of the partner. I'm like, so of all things to do, you cannot pray, you cannot report her, you cannot talk to a friend, you cannot talk to someone. The only thing you decided to do is to go and sleep with somebody outside.
Even in marriage is when women come out to say, my husband cheated on me, one of the first things maybe a counselor or something will ask her is, you at home, what do you wear in the house?
Yes.
You say, oh, you're always tying wrapper. Or do you treat him nice, blah, blah. Do you get And that's not excuse for a grown-out road to step out of a marriage to say, oh, they want to do this. Yes, sometimes it can get frustrating, but I think that you should maybe have conversations with your wife and say, okay, what's going on? How can we fix this? Rather than going outside and now come out. I even heard a funny story where the guy went out, had a child outside, right? Then he started treating the child badly, like growing up, he would tell the child that, oh, you are the cause of my misfortune. You're the one that made my wife leave me.
No, be you carry your leg outside.
You are the one that went outside
willingly.
So I mean, it
just shows the reality of our society.
Yeah, it's our society. It's a society problem.
Consent to boundaries. A lot of people are not willing. Like a lot of guys, if they see you, not even guys and ladies, because I always like to mention ladies, because maybe ladies also contribute to things like this. I remember I was also still in, I think I was secondary school at the time, I was entering a bus. If you are familiar with Ibadan very well, I took my mom and we took the bus from, I was sitting on my own. My mom was sitting in the front, I was sitting at the back. My dad had our 18-seater bus. And I took the bus from Ibo Road, we were going to Songo. The guy that sat beside me, I was wearing a backless top. He was using his arms to touch me all the way from Iwo Road down to Songo. So like 30 or 40 minutes journey. And that time I could not talk. Like I was not comfortable. I was just looking at him. And his face was straight. He knew what he was doing, but he wasn't doing as if he knew what, like, oh, he was as if nothing was happening. So imagine you're sitting there in a bus and the guy beside you is touching you. Please. Put your hand on your butt.
Niggas need to do better.
Or go and pay. Go and pay if you want to. Go and pay if you want to.
Yeah.
But
do you understand? Like, I literally pay for it. Like, so buy, man. But I think everything from emotional manipulation, everything,
even financial manipulation.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Because some partners use finance. Yeah. So financial violence is something that, yes, we don't talk about, but it's happening. And some partner will withdraw the finances of the family and say that, oh, because you did not satisfy me enough. Or maybe situations where you've been asking him for maybe money for something. They're not even married, the relationship. And because he has been asking you for sex and you are not, you're saying that, oh, I'm not interested.
I'll collect your phone back.
I was going to bought the phone. Or I was going to bought this wig on your head. And they will remove let's do better.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, though, you run a foundation, right? Yeah, so do you want to tell us
yes, the name of my non-profit organization is Oye Pearl Initiative. And we go about educating adolescents, young people about their sexual and reproductive health. That's one of the things we do. Aside, we also do women empowerment and development and education and employability. Because I noticed that if you're telling adolescents not to abstain from sex, you have to encourage them to face their education and read their book all the time. I remember we did an advocacy in this month of February. I am in Ashejire communities and at the outskirts of Ibadan, with Osun State, and we were speaking to like 120 adolescents. So I asked the question: so how many of you here have watched a explicit video? Can I say the word? A pornographic video in this month of February, and that day was February 7. And out of I said, how many of you have seen it before? Like half of the class, that's like 60 people, 60 teenagers. The highest among them was maybe 16 or 17 years old. And the youngest was like 13 or 12. And I was like, oh, how many of you here have watched the pornographic video before? They all raised up their hand. Oh, like 60 or 70 raised up their hand. And I said, okay, now, this is a new month. Today is February 7. So how many of you here have watched it in this month of February? 10 people raised their hand. And I'm like, wait, today is February 7. February 1 was on Sunday. So, like, this is between Monday and Friday. Where do people get the time? Me, that about adults. I don't have the time. Like, adults' work is there. Life is there. Where do you get the time? I said, okay, how do you guys used to watch it? Oh, on my mommy's phone.
What?
Yes. On my mommy's phone. In my teacher, like in the classroom, they would just be like 3 or 4 that will come together and they were watching the videos together. And one of them, and I asked them, now, why are you watching? Because I want to know what's going on in their mind. And one of them said that, oh, so that I can prepare myself for the future. And I'm like, how old are you? You are 14. Which future? Have you written WAEC? Then I asked, how many hours did you spend reading this week? The ants came down. have you read your biology textbook finish? And man, I said, so why do you not get the time to watch an explicit video, a pornographic video? And they said that they will group themselves in 4s, in 3s, on their phones, their parents' phone. Said, they were telling me the website. If you use phonics, the notification will just pop up. Open phonics, dada. Like that's what they were saying it, and they were not shy. And I love the way they were not shy about it. But I was like, you are endangering yourself.
Yeah.
Because how can you be watching something like this over and over and over? Like, you will resort to isolation. You will not want to mix with people. So that's one of the reasons why we go about. But the major reason why I started was when I was in my master's program, and my friend, I was posted to an HIV clinic. So we are dealing with adolescents that had HIV, and many are working.
Young Nigerians.
They are living with HIV.
Wow.
And even current research statistics of NDHS, Nigeria Demographic Health Survey, says that like the new incidence of HIV now is now among teenagers. Not even among the adults now are now wise. They are using condom. But the teenagers, they are not wise. Like, I remember an event last year, an HIV event, and the speaker was saying that, she went to a school to go and speak to adolescents about HIV, STI. And when she was done, 6 students came to come and meet her and said, Ma, based on what you said, they know they have it. Like 6, they've not done the test too. And they were teenagers, JSS3, SS1 students. And by the time they tested the 6, 4 already had HIV, 2 did not have. So that your innocent looking child, your innocent looking cousin or niece, nephew might be living with HIV because they don't know any better, and they don't know that maybe their partner will be living with it, because the partner would have taken the drug, boyfriend at this time, would have taken the drug at home. So you will not even know that he has
they're living with it.
Or the drug is taken, because some parents will not tell their child the name of the drug or what they're taking drug for. So the child will just be taking the drug. A 12-year-old child might not know why he's using an HIV, like a drug every day. But you just know that, mommy will say, take this drug, take this drug, take this drug. So me, I did mine in HIV clinic. My friend did her own in a Premier Health Care Center in Bewe, Ibadan. If you know Bewe, the queen of the brown roof, that's where it is. And she was always coming back home with different stories. A lady came today, not lady, a girl came to the Premier Health Care Center. She's 16 years old. She gave birth. A 15-year-old girl came, she gave birth. And I'm like, why is everybody just giving birth? And their age is 16, 15, 14. Then one day she came back with the story of a 16-year-old girl that the mother had been trying to help her. The mother-in-law had been trying to help her to deliver at home. Yeah. For like all through the night, she could not deliver. So she came to the hospital. They had to rush her to the hospital, to the Premier Health Center the following morning. And she was already tired, she was already exhausted. They did not come with any delivery kits. Like any, as little as cotton wool or methylated spirit. So the Premier Health Center had to like go around, look for things, and help her with seats. So when they wanted to stay, she had a very bad tear in the vagina area. When they wanted to stitch her back, they stitched her without anesthesia. So like she was explaining the story, like my friend was shaking like this when she came back. So, like they stitched her without anesthesia. So imagine she was 16 years old, but the nurses around were like, don't beat her, she's coming back next year.
What do you mean by that?
They knew that she's still going to go back home, still have sex without protection with her partner, and still come back with pregnancy. And when the husband came, because they will normally in Ibadan now. As long as you are pregnant, you're already married. When the husband came and they told him that, your bill is 25,000. Emi, I need you 25 law, because the mother-in-law was saying that all the child I gave birth to them at home, that she's a lazy girl for giving birth to a child in the hospital. And that was just, so the story was just like getting worse every day. And I decided to be like, you know what? I have to do something about this. Because we cannot keep having stories of people like this. And although it's a cultural norm for them in that community, it's like a thing of pride. Yeah. But it's not supposed to be the norm. Imagine a 15-year-old, a mother that is. Somebody came to a testimony when I was in the church around that side. She was 40 years old and she was like, grandma. So I'm like, I have to go back home and I asked my mommy. I said, Mommy, how old is that woman that came to a testimony? Mommy said she's 40 years old. So 40? Yes. I said, how old is the child that gave birth? Maybe 15. Hey. And I'm like, and she's come and share testimony.
Children are blessing.
And she was so excited. And they did name ceremony, they did party. I even had jollof rice.
Yo, you even went.
No, they brought the rice, so
But,
I heard the jollof rice, but that's the reality of our society.
man, and it's crazy because I remember growing up that time, yeah. We wanted to watch Diego and Paloma like this. And my mom really sent us because all these dudes kiss. Yeah, growing up, me and my immediate older sister, it was only Indian films we used to watch growing up, Bollywood, because they know they kiss for
Yeah, but now they do.
At that time, Shah Rukh Khan, them, the only thing that we know is that like they just have family.
Yeah.
We don't know how they have family. If you want to express love, his breeze will blow, like they'll dance for us. Like that's what we do. Which one we say they watch kissing.
And funny thing, I do that in cartoons now. They now kiss.
Yeah, they kiss in
Is it
cartoons.
like-
Yes. They actually
They
kiss in
even have
cartoons.
sex in some cartoons now.
Yeah.
I know maybe those anime hentai or those
No,
things.
like actual like cartoons.
for children.
Yeah,
Like-
for children.
Is it like
Yeah.
as for them Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ben 10,
Bro,
they
stuff
kiss.
like that. They actually kiss
They kiss
in
now.
cartoons now.
And even to say Ben 10.
I think there's a particular cartoon on Cartoon Network. I think not too long ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, like people actually dragged them. Because like on Cartoon Network, like they like two characters kissed in the cartoon, like they dragged them online, like that episode should be taken down forever, but it should never be aired again. Like it's now a norm in the society now.
Like, I can't even like I'll completely be honest with you. Like even as a teenager, there was obviously a very, very explorative phase, like in terms of like
Yes.
watching pornography and all those things, and
Yes.
obviously like rebellious phase and everything. I think at the end of the day, it's just like proper sensitization.
I think that's why that we get back home and practice it with their stories. There was one. The mother and the father usually like they stay in a one bed and they used to have sex in the room with the child. Like so, the child was sleeping. The child was only 5 years old. My sister was in primary school at the time, and she came back when she was saying that something happened in our school today. A child in primary 1 went to the toilet with a child in KG2, and they caught them.
Oh,
Primary 1, KG2 in class, like in the school toilets. And when they asked the boy, said that, my mom and my daddy, they used to do it, so I wanted to practice it.
oh.
So in his innocent mind, he did not know what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
So he thought that as he used to see,
Why are they doing this in front of the child?
at night, but you know that sometimes children wake up at night.
You know, regardless, I mean, I feel like you should be responsible enough to know that okay, we can do this. That's why, like, even like that's why you say like
the only time I don't see my parents.
I've
kiss.
never.
Nah, my popsy 60th birthday. That's the only time. Hold on,
Like, I feel like you should be responsible enough to know you can't do certain things around your kids.
So parents don't care. They will say that you as a child should adjust that this is their life and they have to enjoy their sexual life.
That's ridiculous. That's like,
Like,
bro, like
in
you see in
villages.
movies where like parents will plan that okay.
they'll go
to grandma or to go like, get a nanny so that they can have the time because that's just the right thing to do, right? Not like you're doing.
Yeah, this is deep and now. You know, for instance, I wasn't even there. That picture I see. That picture I see.
But
Yeah, bro. You know, I was in the 60s birthday, like, bro, like 7 years ago. Now, I mean, that's when
When
I
you saw them,
bro. I was already 20s.
but like these are things that are happening. Like pornography video, there are some people will be watching it on TV in the house, and a teenager will enter and be seeing you watching it. You know the days of CDs where people go and buy CDs.
yeah, but
Some people have bought, like I remember my friend was saying that our mom bought this Jesus crucifixion video. That was the CD the mommy brought home. So when they were at home and Nepa brought lights, and mommy had gone to work, so she just like let us even watch this Christian. So when she was watching it, and she was like how can people be naked and be doing things that it did not click in her head? So Nepa took lights, so they went to go they went to play. So Nepa brought lights, then like to consider for what it played. So she was just watching like, hey mommy, come and see what's happening here. Mommy said, mogbe. She took the CD.
So it was the mom that actually mom actually bought.
She bought a Jesus crucifixion video for the children to come and watch at home. But instead, it was from the seller.
Oh,
So this, so
I don't die.
It's like the way that here. For uni, like they'll put porn inside. Hymn book, book of Bible stories. Meanwhile, na different food.
No.
But yeah, like at the end of the day, man, it's proper sensitization. Like obviously, like you can't stop teenagers from being curious and all those things. What
that's the time where they want to
explore anything.
Yeah.
But like I feel like there's so many things that we've learned from this podcast, from this episode. And before we go on, we have before we end, we have a segment that we do. And one thing about this episode is that like this episode was so enlightening,
and eye-opening.
Because there's so many things that, you know, even to the female gender mutilation, you know, like those are things that are still going on, and traditionally as Africans it's going to be quite hard for us to
adjust.
You know. But one thing is that we have to evolve your education. We need to understand tradition and culture. Really,
although they will say that this thing has been inside, you know, they've inserted into our school curriculum, like home economics, social study. But it is my teacher. Anytime my social study teacher wants to teach me then in junior school about you know, sexual health education. It was always just. Then I think he must have been a copper, or maybe it was 25, 26, that lecturer at the time. Always just saying it, just laughing. He wasn't saying it like proper education. Or if you don't teach reproductive system in biology, where the lecturer will just come, oh, today we are doing reproductive system. You know, the things that your mom and daddy, why? So reproductive system is not sexual health education. What we are doing in social studies is not sexual health education.
I swear.
We're just thinking that we are teaching them about family.
Of which in school said they will even be coding it. Like they won't say what it is. Like biology, so we say penis. You're saying diotin.
Male,
or the male genital.
Exactly.
Or the parents be telling their male child, oh, go and wee-wee. That your wee-wee. Like, which one is wee-wee? Why are you calling? It's a part of the body. Say the name.
My niece and nephew, we're currently teaching them a song. I forgot to say the song, but it's basically everywhere touch, don't touch.
Don't touch,
They teach them in my nephew's school. He's 3 years old, by the way. So like
very important.
Those things are little things that you also even teach kids from the young. So like he knows genuinely, like he knows where to not touch, like where nobody can touch, like carrying him or touching him and all that type of things. And everybody that's listening, I feel like it's also, you know, I feel like it's also a responsibility as well. If you have a younger niece, a younger nephew, 15,
don't feel like
16,
they are too young to know.
Bro, do you know even
age appropriate?
You even be the cool auntie or the cool uncle.
Yes. And they'll come and be telling you things that they will not tell their parents.
And that's like the comfortability and like you even wind them so they even open up to you so that you know.
And many of the things they know more than us.
And you know, I know that this son, you need prayer for this son. You know the level of which this son has reached. And then you teach them things like consent. You know, I was very fortunate to have older siblings. You know, there's some people that just had brothers. You know, and there's some people that probably don't have siblings that, you know, could
or they're even the firstborn, and they have to find out on their own.
Find out on their own and all those situations. So, before we end, we have a segment where it's just how Nigerian are you? You know, so firstly, I always ask you, delete one forever: jollof rice or fried rice?
Fried rice.
Oh, nice one.
Like,
nice one. I agree with her. I'm on her side.
Okay, I won't argue this thing because everybody's arguing. So the next one will be tea or coffee.
Tea. Although I'm not really, I would just say milk safe. But I can still manage tea, but milk.
So the next one is what's one thing that you always forget at home, or one thing you can never forget at home except from your phone?
I just want to say one thing I can always forget. I want to say is my phone. But
you
I used
forget
to
your
go
phone
back
at home?
and pick
Why
it.
are you forgetting your phone? Like
I forgot
my phone 3 times before. Like
the day I got to work and I remember my phone was at home, I was so mad.
Like you already got into the office?
Yes. I asked my boss, I cannot be productive today. Sorry. My phone is my productivity center.
My phone, like,
because if phone is like Uber said, Uber don't go, I don't even reach this thing. I said, I don't get somebody to call my phone.
You're fortunate too.
I said, guys,
like me.
I've gone out, I've forgotten my phone at the place I went.
My phone is always
that's why I go on airport, because let me play music as I'm living anywhere I'm going to, so that I will know that my phone is with me. But when you're not playing the airport and the music starts playing, your phone is no longer
problem.
Always share your location with your partner or no?
It depends.
It depends
where
on
we are going. What if I don't want him to know?
Why are you going to where you don't want your partner to know?
Why should I share location?
It's just for safety. Okay, let me not speak for you. Continue.
No, I can share my location with my partner. But sometimes, like, why? Don't you trust me enough?
No, it's just like obviously the first line of call.
No, I would have told you, I'm going to so place.
first course of action is safety purpose. Like me now,
If I'm
like,
going to a new place, I don't know. Definitely.
Yeah.
me,
Yeah, I
like,
think that's the ideal thing.
there are people in my life that like location is always on. Like I always know where they are.
Wow.
Do you understand? Like my sister, I've had a location for like 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
Do you understand? Like me, I even know when she goes on. She'll never tell me when she's going on trip. Because
You just see it.
I just see that.
Yeah.
This don't be the house. Don't be your house with this. Doesn't I even know. It's not like something she told me.
For me, I will just carry you along. Oh, I'm going to this place. Then when I get there,
Man,
and I go to another place.
I don't say anything bad in it and all that stuff. It's when
When I start saying that, what did you go and do in that place?
Yeah,
From
when
there,
they're
you
now-
branch here.
yeah, because like if
Trust is already
you see that if you go to an address where your location is saying Preskin Hotel. You kill Preskin. And then something those kind of things. But I understand, obviously, like it's a level of trust.
Yes.
But yeah, you guys, we've got to the end of this episode.
Yes, sir.
Precious, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And where can they find your foundation if they need support? If they need to
On
join
Instagram and LinkedIn, Oye Pearl Initiative. OYEPEARL. Let me even tell you how I came about that name, Oye Pearl. I was in. No, not yes. Oyeleke and my first name, Precious. But I was in secondary school. Let's open to go accounts that year. And I was looking for the name to my friend. I said, use Oye now. You will Pearl, Miss Precious.
Nice
Nothing spiritual, nothing heavenly, but it is heavenly.
We've nice one.
So
Yes.
you guys make sure you take charge, be responsible for educating younger Nigerians, teenagers, even yourselves as well. You know, like
Yes.
don't allow culture and tradition to ruin you. You know, evolve past education. And you
Yes.
guys make sure you join the WhatsApp channel. We have
Sure.
exciting gist, you know, our day-to-day activities, Q&A, everything. See you guys on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Guys.